This is the story of how James Vanderbeek's battle with colorectal cancer left his family facing financial devastation, forcing his widow to rely on crowdfunding to keep their 6 children in their home. Yesterday, February 11th, 2026, the Dawson's Creek star passed away at 48, and within hours, the harsh reality of their situation became public knowledge. Wednesday morning brought the news that James David Vanderbeek had died peacefully at home after his fight with stage 3 colorectal cancer. Kimberly, his wife, broke the news on Instagram with words that struck a balance between grief and grace. Our beloved James David Vanderbeek passed peacefully this morning. He met his final days with courage, faith, and grace. What that dignified statement didn't say was that behind the scenes, the family had run out of money entirely. A GoFundMe campaign went live the same day, and the message posted there pulled no punches. Family friends who created the page laid out the situation plainly. Medical costs from the extended cancer battle had drained every account the family had. Staying in their Texas home was now uncertain. Keeping their 6 children in school had become a question mark, and basic living expenses were piling up faster than answers could come. The cancer timeline explains part of how the family ended up here. August 2023 was when Vanderbeek got his diagnosis during what should have been a routine colonoscopy, catching stage 3 colorectal cancer when he was just 46 years old. No family history pointed to this outcome, and by every measure, he was in peak condition, doing cold plunges and keeping up a serious exercise routine. Bowel changes were his only symptom, something he'd written off as drinking too much coffee and nothing more serious. For 15 months, Vanderbeek kept the diagnosis quiet from the public, only going public in November 2024, when a tabloid forced his hand by threatening to run the story without his consent. That means more than a year passed where he fought this disease in private while trying to keep life normal for the people who depended on him. 6 children depended on him, ranging from a teenager down to a preschooler. Olivia is 15, Joshua 13, Annabelle 12, Emilia 9, Gwendolyn 6, and Jeremiah just turned 4 years old. Kimberly married Vanderbeek back in 2010, and together they'd built a life on a 36-acre ranch in Spicewood, Texas, roughly 45 minutes west of Austin, after leaving California in 2020 during the height of the pandemic. What's telling is that the family had already been scrambling for money before Vanderbeek's death yesterday. September 2025 brought a Dawson's Creek reunion fundraiser, followed by a December auction through Prop Store where Vanderbeek sold personal memorabilia from his career. Last month, actor Paul Walter Hauser stepped in to organize yet another fundraising push, offering personalized cameo videos and funneling every dollar to the Vanderbeek family. The GoFundMe that launched yesterday started asking for $250,000, but as donations flooded in, that target kept climbing higher and higher. First $500,000, then $550,000, eventually landing at $1.3 million as the organizers realized how deep the need actually went. By Wednesday afternoon, the total hit $200,000, climbing to $346,943 by mid-afternoon and crossing the $1 million threshold by 9 p.m. Pacific time that same night. Hollywood showed up in the donor list with names and numbers that revealed who was willing to help. Derek Huff from Dancing with the Stars and Extra kicked in $1,000, while Zoe Saldana, listed under her married name Zoe Saldana Perego, set up monthly donations of $2,500. Lynn Lear, widow of Norman Lear, committed to $5,000 every month, matched by YouTuber Cody Sanchez with her own $5,000 monthly pledge. As of today, February 12th, the campaign total stands above $1 million. The money isn't going toward anything optional, which the GoFundMe page makes crystal clear. Essential living expenses, mounting bills, education costs for 6 kids, and the immediate need to stay in their Texas home are what the funds need to cover. Kimberly isn't asking for luxuries or extras. She's asking for the basics that keep a family of 7 functioning after losing the person who paid for it all. What hits hard about this situation is that Vanderbeek was famous, genuinely famous, not some flash in the pan celebrity who disappeared after one role. Dawson's Creek ran from 1998 to 2003 and turned him into a star at 20 years old, and the work kept coming for decades after that show ended. He stayed visible, stayed employed, stayed in the game. A year and a half of cancer treatment still managed to wipe out whatever financial cushion that career had built. Vanderbeek tried to use his diagnosis to spread awareness about something doctors are seeing more and more often, which is colorectal cancer hitting younger patients who don't fit the traditional risk profile. No family history flagged him as high risk. His physical condition was outstanding by any standard, and the disease found him anyway. His public statements before his death hammered home one message: changes in your bowel movements deserve attention, not excuses about coffee or diet or stress. The $1 million fundraising surge in under 24 hours tells 2 parallel stories at once. People genuinely cared about Vanderbeek, both fans who grew up watching Dawson's Creek and industry colleagues who worked alongside him over the years. But that same surge also exposes how catastrophic illness destroys financial security, even for families most people would assume have it figured out. Medical care costs a fortune in this country. Cancer treatment costs an astronomical fortune. And when the person earning the money can't work anymore, the expenses keep arriving on schedule. Kimberly Vanderbeek is 42 years old now, raising 6 children alone with ages spanning from preschool to high school. The organizers of the GoFundMe wrote that the family is working hard to maintain some stability through this nightmare, which is about as understated as you can get when describing a widow trying to figure out how to keep her kids housed and fed. Courage, faith, and grace were how Kimberly described her husband's final days, and nobody's questioning whether that description fits. But courage doesn't make mortgage payments, faith doesn't cover grocery bills, and grace won't keep 6 children in the schools and home they know. The $1 million raised in less than a day represents an incredible show of support, but it also stands as proof of how quickly everything can fall apart when serious illness enters the picture. The family is still processing the loss, while the public continues responding to the fundraising appeal, which means this story hasn't reached any kind of resolution yet. What's already clear is this: a well-known actor fought cancer for 18 months, died at 48, and left behind a family that needs outside help just to survive the next few months. That's what happens when the show ends and real life doesn't care who you used to be.